Hello everybody, I'm Sebastian again. Today we're going to be breaking down both day 3 and day 4 of the women's candidate cycle. So to explain what's going on, I just felt like yesterday was very boring within it, so I decided let's wait till tomorrow, and I'm just going to cover two games of, 4 games in the video just to see how it works. Tell me if you guys like it in the comments. If you don't, I'll go back to doing the daily. Also, I'm going to be out of town in a few days, so I'm probably going to have to record on a laptop if I can get one in time. If I can, then sorry about the poor quality in the future. If not, then I'll just, as soon as I get back, be recording the final video. Along with, by the way, I'll be also covering the Women's World Chess Championship come 2023. I'm also going to be playing tournaments soon, but without further ado, let's quit this dilly-dallying, get the subjects off me, and onto these people. Let's begin. Our first game of the day is Humpy Konaru against Anna Mazichuk. Let's begin. D4 by Konaru and D5 by Mazichuk. C4, E6, the queen's gambit declined. Knight F3, Knight F6, Knight C3, 3 knights variation, and C5, the Semi-Tarrasch. Back when I played D4 openings, this was very common for me to see. C takes D4, C takes D5, C takes D4, Queen takes D4, E takes D4, and E4. This has been seen before. I've actually played this position in the past. It's a fun position for white. Here's the move D takes E4 occurs. We get this and Knight G5, threatening both this and this. So here, very simple move, Bishop E6, and here the move A3 occurs. This is a normal move. It prevents the bishop from coming to B4, along with the knight from coming to B4 in the future. You might want to develop your bishop to E2 or B5 in the future. That's something I've learned. Knight BD7 and bishop to F4 comes. Very strong move. Rook C8, getting a rook down the C file. And G3, this is pretty common. Bishop G2, and you're just putting even more pressure on this E-pawn, because there's not really a way to defend it. Here, very simple, move bishop to B3, preventing this rook from coming to the D file. It's a good move, definitely. I will not argue with that move. And bishop to G2, putting more pressure on this. Here, this move, knight H5 occurs. Now, this is a good move. It's attacking this. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of people, myself included, will say bishop E3, attacking the A pawn, and your knight's not good. Going back to this position, you could argue that, the position's slightly better for white, but not by much. After here, the position feels definitely more like a draw, but does feel less comfortable for black because of this weird knight. Bishop E3 does get played, and F5, and the position's back in white's favor, but barely. I'm looking at the computer right now. Only one position, which is after G4 occurs, is winning, and G4 does occur, so black's winning now. The computer's saying black's winning after F4, and we get bishop takes ace. No? Alright. Not saying, alright, whatever. We're just not going to pay attention to that. We get bishop to B4, bishop to D4, but now the position's winning for black. I can even tell that. Just because of the fact F3 occurs, your bishop has to move, and it's not very good for you. So, we get F3, but we get we get F3, but we get G takes H5 instead. Now after f takes g2 and rook to g1, this is basically signifying Kanaru basically said, I'm not going to castle. I'm going to take your pawn. I'm going to take this pawn. And I'm going to be what I feel is better. Knight c5. Rook takes g2. h6, attacking the knight. Knight g takes c4, knight takes c4, knight takes c4, and a rook c4, getting this. Now here, only one move, knight d2. This is a fork. So after this and this, attacking this, yeah, it's a pretty common. It's a alright end game. It is a bishop versus knight end game, which is actually generally better for the side of the bishop, right? But here's the thing: you have double isolated pawns, an isolated pawn, and just an a pawn. So technically speaking, you'd think this position is better for white, but it isn't. Because if this rook's not active, this bishop really isn't that active either. It can only go to 2 squares. And this square doesn't do anything, and neither does the blue one. So, yeah, not just that. My rooks can very easily get to the open lines. One of my rooks already on an open line. I can get to the 6th rank. You can't even move your bishop because your g-pawn would hang. So, I mean, what are you really going to do right now? There's not much. Move rook d5 happens, and rook c1 occurs. As I said, you're going to get this rook down the open file. And rook takes h5. As I said, well, you have the weaknesses, right? And it doesn't matter, rook c3. Position slightly, not even better for black, honestly. I would, some of my computers trying to argue right now it's better for black. I don't think so. Rook d5, I don't see it really. f4, and now you're going to get one of your rooks behind here. But now the computer is actually arguing that this is much worse because of the move bishop to e7, and you can not take this because of bishop f6, and it's a fork. So f4, and we get this move g5. Slowly the position's in the balance because of rook rook g to c2. And you are pressuring with this, getting your rooks down there. Bishop to g7, attacking the rook. Rook c8 check. King e7. Rook 8 c7 check. Oh, sorry. Rook to d7. Rook takes d7. Rook takes d7. Knight c5 check. Suddenly to draw again. King e7. Now here we get f takes g5. F takes g5. Now your rook cannot really get off this file because of this pawn, right? Yeah. We get knight takes b7 though. Now Kanaru's up a pawn. Bishop to e5. Putting more pressure on this. What are we going to do? Knight a5. Alright. You can win this. I'm going to put you in check. You're going to move your king up. I'm going to take your a-pawn. I'm still up. And now look, I have a double queenside passer. Right? Sorry. Bishop f4. Okay. Guess what? Knight b5. g4. Okay, you have a passer, but I, technically speaking, have 2 of them. Knight c3. Rook h1 check. King e2. King e5. And here we get king d3. g3. Rook to e2 check. King to f5. Knight e4, and it's a draw. They agree to a draw here. Because if you push, I take. And there's not much you can do here. You might... The computer's arguing rook a1 here works. But it doesn't. It's all a draw. They agree to a draw here. Next game. Our next game is against Li Tingji and Maria Mazicuk. This is a long game, so let's start flipping through it. d4, d5, c4, c6, the Slav defense against the Queen's Gambit. f3, f6, knight f3, knight f6, e3, the quiet line again. Bishop to g4, the pin variation again. h3, bishop h5, queen b3, attacking the b7 pawn. So here, queen b6, very common line. C takes d5, c takes d5, queen takes b6, and a takes b6. In this position, it's much better for white because already you have the double isolated pawns, and, well, you can easily be kicked around. Bishop b5 check. You don't have much you can do. Knight fd7, knight c3, attacking this weakness. Bishop takes f3, g takes f3, giving you doubled pawns, but you kind of have the trade-off of the open g file, I would say. e6, defending this pawn. Bishop d2, saying, well, I want a long castle. Right? Yeah, you want a long castle. I mean, you get your rook down the open file, you're completely fine here, right? You know, yeah, you're in a long castle. You're going to push your pawns. That makes sense, right? Nah, man. Screw you. King e2. Bong cloud, boys. And I'm going to get my rooks to talk to each other. My rooks are playing telephone. I might get them down the center. I might get them down the queen side. I might get them down the king side. I don't know yet. Bishop d6. Now here, rook ac1. Alright, seems like we're getting them centered, right? King e7. We have both sides playing a bong cloud setup. Let's see how this game will go. You only play the bong cloud if you want to fight. Knight a4. Attacking. Putting some pressure on this weakness. Rook ac8. King d3. Because she's just better. f5. This is crazy. Rook hg1. As I said, this g-file's useful for white, and they're attacking this pawn. g6, getting this light squared bind. But remember, both sides have their dark squared bishop, so they're going to be feeding off of this structure. Because, listen, here's the thing, okay? All light squares, because she does not have a light squared bishop. There is no light squared bishop here. So, she's counteracting Li Tingji. I'm going to say Tingji. She's counteracting Tingji's light squared bishop. And meanwhile, if you look at Mazicuk, she's trying to counter the light squared bishop for Tingji. Tingji has her dark squared bishop and sees Mazicuk has her dark squared bishop. So she has her pawns on dark squares trying to fight for this. f4 is going to come in the future. Actually, no, f4 comes immediately. What can I say? Rook hg8 and a rook c2. You're going to get your rooks down the c-file, right? Yeah, makes sense. Rook c7. Alright, well, I'm going to also combat you down the c-file. Rook cc1. Saying, well, do you want to make a draw? King f7. King e2. Rook gc8. f3. Why f3, you might ask? Because she sees, okay, well, Mazicuk in this position might want to plot her knight onto the e4 square. So I'm going to play f3 to prevent that from happening in the future. At least that's what I think. Knight, what does that say? cb8. I'm deciding I'm going to reroute my knight in the future. It doesn't need to be on that square anymore. And I'm opening up the rooks to see each other. Rook takes c7, rook takes c7, and bishop to c3. Just putting her bishop on a nice square. Sorry. Rook c8. Just pushing it back. King d2. h6. She's not passing the move. She's preventing anything from possibly coming to this square, like the rook. Right? I don't know. b3. Saying, well, the king's already defending it along with my knight. b3, it passes the move. It's strong. Right? It doesn't weaken anything. There could also, I might want to drop my bishop back to b2 in the future. Bishop e7, knight b2. That was another idea with it, because you want to get your knight here, and you want to get your knight here in the future. That's an idea of this move, because you see how these squares are relatively weak. Let's look at the yellow and blue square, right? Hey, it looks like a starburst. They're pretty weak, so you're going to try to, well, this is the blue square is sufficiently defended. If I could draw arrows, that would be great. And that dark square in the center of the yellow square is going to be plotted with my knight. There, right? So let's see. g5. Another move. Idea of h6 was to build up the move g5. Knight d3. Knight c6. Rook c1. G takes f4. Knight takes f4. Rook g8. And king e2. I'm not even going to try to fathom these moves. Bishop to a3, attacking the rook. Rook to d1. Bishop to d6. Knight to d3. Probably going to plot this here. Rook g2 check. And knight f2. Knight f6. Getting another piece into the attack. Possibly. Rook to c1. f4. Nice pawn break. Going to say, if you take, I take. We're going to play bishop to d2. Saying, well, now if you take, I'm going to take like this. And that actually happens. Knight e7. Bishop to d3. Preventing the knight from really moving any further. Right? As I said, knight h5. Going for this move. King f1's played. Sidestepping that move, saying, well, now if you put me in check, I'm going to take this. Rook g3, attacking these. So we're going to play king e2, defending this. Knight c6. Rook to d1 and knight to f4 check. Takes is the idea. So what's going to happen? Exactly that. Bishop to b5. King e7. Bishop takes, b takes, and b4. Bishop to d6, attacking this. Rook c1. You can take this. I'm going to take this. I have pressure here. King d7 played to defend this. And here we get knight to d3. Oh, you're going to take this? That's cute. a4. Oh, rook h2 check. Okay, king e3. I'm better. But you're not. This position's a -1. Because of the move rook a2. b5. C, after c takes b5. A takes b5. Still better for black. Rook a5. Is this position ever going to be better for white? See, rook h1. Okay, you can take this. I'm going to take your pass h pawn, right? These are your... But there's the thing. Is Mazichuk has these passed pawns. Like, you can take one, but I still have another. So rook to b1, and now you can't put your rook on the b file. Oh, you put me in check? Yeah, but I'm just going to put my king on c6. No, I'm not. I'm going to play king e8. Playing down. Oh, f4. Oh, that's a cute idea. b5. Watch his pawn move. Rook h6. Oh, you're attacking this. King d7. Oh, you're going to put me in check again. Now king c6. We're going to play here. Oh, you're going to put your rook here again? That's cute. King d7 again. You're going to put me in check. Here. Here. And they blundered the draw. I'm joking. She just decided to not play for much longer. I'm just going to probably guess low time. Let's move on. This is now the current day of... What day is it? The 29th. It's the 29th. And they're playing. And they're playing again. This time, Anna Mazichuk has the white pieces. And Humbi Kanaru has the black pieces. And let's see how this goes down. E4. E5. Knight f3. Knight c6. Oh, not knight c6. Knight f6. Another Petrov defense. And d4. Knight takes e4, d takes e5, d5. Yep. 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 The reason why I'm just kind of skipping through these moves right now is because we've seen all of these within the past. Knight g3, rook d8, knight f5, knight c6, and b3 here, going for bishop to b2. This is really one of the only things that stands out. This has to be opening prep, I'm going to say. Because I'm just not going to... excuse me. I'm not just going to think, oh, yeah, she came up with this over the board. No, I'm pretty sure that b3 was prep. But a6 here. a4. Getting this queenside attack going. Pawn chain, boy or girl, or whatever you are. You can identify as whatever you want. I don't care. B6. H4. Oh. H4. This is what every Grandmaster plays nowadays, so you gotta play, of course. Nah, I'm joking. H4, she's just trying to launch an attack. I even play H4. Hey, look at my most recent tournament recap. Only round 1, though, and round 4. Don't look at the other 2, because those games are totally not losses. I totally didn't just win that tournament because the other person in my section only got 2 out of 4. Totally not. No. Hey, at my most recent tournament, I got 3, but I've messed up all my notation. It's whatever, though. Bishop f8 here. So, yeah. Bishop to d2. Oh. Now slip. Bishop to b7. h5. Another attack. Knight e7. And knight 3 to h4. Takes. King h8. Bishop to g4. d4. h6. h6, there we go. g6, attacking this. Knight g3. You're going to have a hell of a time getting this bishop out. Because if you want to go here, you're going to have an amazing time trying to do that. c4 played by black. And here we get b takes c4. Rook a c8. Saying, well, I won't win my pawn back. Rook b1. Saying, well, if you win this pawn back, I'm winning this pawn. And she said, well, let's test that. Bishop c5. Let's see if you were right. And she was just like, all right, let's go. Let's fight. Rook b3. All right. Bishop to e7. Preventing anything from coming to the square in the future. Knight e4. Oh, that's cute. Bishop takes e4. Rook takes e4. Queen to c6, attacking the rook. Queen to f3. King to g8. And bishop takes e6. Now question, do you take with the pawn or do you take with the queen? Well, let's see. If you take with the queen, you get rook d3, pressuring this. From there, you'll win the pawn. From here, you get bishop c3. From here, you would get rook c8 with best moves, and yeah. Now let's see what happens if you take with this. But we're not going to hypothetically see this. This is what happens. Let's see what happens. Queen g4, attacking this, putting more pressure on it. Let's see how this goes. Rook takes c2. And rook to d3. Bishop to c5. Bishop to g5, attacking this. We're going to get a rook to f8, taking control of this f-file. Bishop to f6, shutting out her rook. And here we get queen to d5. Rook e takes d4. Bishop takes d4. Rook takes d4. Queen a2. Rook to d7. Rook takes Rook takes f6. E takes f6. Queen to a1 check. King to h2. Queen to e5 check. King to h3. Queen takes f6. Rook to g7. Rook to g7 check. King h8. Rook to a7, threatening mate. This. That. This. Check. Can't move its mate. So what do you have to play? e5. Queen h4. f5. g4. Back. Here defending. Out rook on e-file. You take. Up king moves. I'm going to play here. 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 I was really wondering why didn't can you take? No, because king. Can you not take? Oh, because takes. Yeah, alright. I misevaluated that. Rook f6 here. a5. This. And there was not much after this. And Mazichuk won. This is the final game of the day. Let's just get into it. And at a6, normal move. a3, this, that. Pretty boring game, honestly, out of these two. This, that, yep. Rook a1's a good move, I'll say that. Rook d8, yep. h3, good move. Yep. 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 Yeah. d4, good move. Ooh. Rook g3, creating counterplay. g6, good move. Queen e4, creating a pin. Queen to d5, takes, yep. This, obviously, if you cannot tell, was not too special of a game. Sorry about just skipping through it. A little boring, nothing really too special. So, yeah. Another draw. Yeah. So, thank you for watching this video if you're already this far in. Yeah. Probably see you guys tomorrow. I don't really know what to say. What's my outro again? Oh, yeah. Go do something productive with the rest of your day. That was planned, I swear.